intra-training supplementation tip, keep your water in the freezer so that when you get your drink, it's icy. And that's very, very important in this warmer climate because especially when your sessions are longer, by the time you get to the end of the session, you don't want warm intra. Anyway, it's been a while. How we been? Road to Classic continues. We are 4 months into lockdown. 4 months into lockdown. Whoever thought that it was going to last that long? I personally did not. I thought a month tops. But yeah, 4 months. 4 months. And I've built a gym. I'm going to show you the gym. I'm going to show you the gym. However, before we do that, intra-training supplementation. So there's a lot of, get the angle. There's a lot of different there's a lot of different people having different opinions on whether or not you should be supplementing with supplementation during the training window. Now, my opinion, this isn't science-based. A little bit of it is science-based. Just gonna roll with the trip-ups. We're just gonna roll with the trip-ups now. We're not gonna cut them out. We're gonna keep it raw, we're gonna keep it natural. Because when I try and cut out the trip-ups, it takes me like an extra 2 hours to edit because I trip up a lot. Don't know why, but I do. So, there is some science behind this, which I'll delve into in a moment. However, firstly, my intra-training supplementation. So, we have Supplement Needs Intra AAA, EAA, which is the best on the market with regards to, you know, the ingredients that are in there. You've got your electrolytes in there, a really good profile of electrolytes, which, you know, some people moan about this is a little bit more expensive, but ultimately you've got the electrolytes in there, you've got your citrulline malate in there. If you was to pay for that separately, that would be an additional cost. So really, when you break it down and you look at how much it's costing per serving, it's actually not bad. Supplement Needs are doing okay. I haven't got a discount code. I'm not that popular yet. Use creatine, we already produce it in phosphate form. By saturating the muscles in that and having a readily available surge of creatine in the muscle tissue ready to do its bit, it's going to help massively with strength, aerobic capacity, anaerobic training, so obviously strength training. And HBCD, now this is the one which gets a lot of, you don't need to be taking that, blah, blah, blah. You don't need to be taking that. It's subject to the individual. Now, little old Betty, 74, on the recumbent cycle, reading 2 chapters of her favourite novel. Is she going to need 70 grams of cyclic dextrin into training? Probably not. She's probably not going to utilise that. However, for the more trained individual, someone who is going to be depleting muscle glycogen to a degree within their training, someone who trains hard, someone who trains with intensity, cyclic dextrin is essentially going to saturate the body with readily available glycogen. Recent literature suggests that muscle glycogen can be depleted up to 30% in one top set. One top set. Why are you huffing? Why are you huffing? You've had a run around. Hey? He huffs. Always huffs. That's Oscar, by the way. You met him in the first video. He's now around about 7-8 times the size. So he's grown. Yeah, up to 30% of glycogen depletion in one set. I reckon in one rest pause set I might do double that. True story. There you have it. There's my opinion. There is my intra. And we're going to get this in, and I'm going to show you the gym. And I'm out of breath. I'm literally out of breath just talking. This is the height of off-season, guys. Talking is hard work at the moment, so that's where we're at. And we're going to train pull today, and it's RDLs, and it's a big session, and it's going to be fun. I'm going to take you through that. So, welcome to the gym. I'll give it a guided tour. So, this has been a work in progress. It's taken 4 months, and it's just escalated, to be honest with you. When we first started, it was just a few weight plates, squat rack, barbell that I've been very fortunate enough to borrow off some friends who own gyms. And it's just escalated. Obviously, I think the importance of what we need to grow has played a huge part in the purchases that have been made. Hence the adductor machine, adductor, and leg press, exhibit A. And I think that like the first 6-7 weeks, the barbell squat carried me through okay. And I noticed a little bit of flattening off. And I think for me personally, the barbell squat is such a difficult movement for me to really hone in on the tension. I'm so worried about my lower back, so worried about my knees. It's a movement that some people obviously swear by, and that's fine, and that's great, and that's fantastic. But for me personally, I need something I can lock into a little bit better, like a leg press, a hack squat, something like that. So when we kind of got the first red light that gyms were going to be shut for another extended period of time, I think that was when I made the decision, okay, I need to get some kit. So obviously, what do we need to grow? Legs. The adductor machine was actually only £150. It cost me a further £120 or something for the courier to come drop it off because it was in Birmingham. Fortunately, it was very, very easy to get off the back of the truck, and it didn't take us 90 minutes, and it wasn't really that difficult at all. So yeah, as you can see, that was a pain in the arse, and that's never going anywhere. That's staying there. That's a permanent feature of this house. So if we're here in 20 years time and we sell the house, it comes with an adductor machine because I ain't moving it again. It was bloody hard work. And then the leg press we actually picked up, borrowed my mate's van, went and picked it up from London. That was like £600. And just been fortunate enough to continue to borrow plates from local gyms and things like that. So we've had enough to progress. The flooring was meant to cover much more than that. It actually only covers like, if I flip this round, flooring only covers like half the gym, not even half, maybe like a third. So I've got like some off-cut of carpet, which is quite nice because you like do your feet before coming on the mat. And then this bit's just like the rough section, but to be honest with you, it's better because I like to RDL off like a hard surface. So it's actually worked out okay, but yeah, the flooring was meant to be bigger than that, but apparently I can't do maths very well because I calculated it wrong. And then the final purchase was the mirror, which has only been there a couple of weeks. Exhibit A, B, C. And it's a big ass mirror. And it was like £50. Oh, and the Arnold. Good old Arnold. I thought that was meant to be bigger as well. It's actually quite small. So when it comes to like measurements, I'm not very good. And that's why I'm a coach and I'm not a carpenter. So yeah, that's the gymnasium complete.
There's a feeling in my soul, can't defeat it. I lose control on your mind.
So those two movements that you've just seen me doing, basically, are just to warm up and prime the spine. And I do it before any upper body sessions. Even more for my sake, because I do get a lot of issues with like the scapula and those muscles. So getting that area warm and ready and prime and active, especially if you spend a lot of the time sat at a desk in that hunch position, it's really important to get that mobile, get it warm, get the blood flow there, so it's ready to be called upon. Okay, so that's set up for the rack chin. So really good movement for the lats. And it's essentially quite similar to like a lat pull down, something like that. And I found that pull-ups, I maxed out. I couldn't get any further on them. We went to body weight, we went to weighted, and it was getting to the point where I couldn't progress. So we pulled them out, replaced them for rack chins, and it's a good movement. Yeah. At least it's easy to get in and out of. At least it's not really difficult. Do you know what I mean? So that's good. That was 8 reps, 1 rep down, 5 kilos up. I felt in the last couple of reps just a little bit shy of that full contraction. It's very difficult on this because like all your mid-back wants to overtake. So, but we'll take that. It's new numbers in the logbook. The ratcheting's done. I didn't record the back offset, otherwise there'd just be too much footage. But we went up. In fact, the back offset was the same as last week's top set. Winning. So now we've got RDLs. RDLs is a big movement. It's one that I've kept in this whole off season, however many months, because it's good, it works well, and there's a lot about exercise selection, and ultimately it has to be individual to the person. So find an exercise that you can get on with, you can connect with, you can feel the right muscles being worked, and you can just continue to get stronger at that, injury free. And as long as you're doing that, as long as you are getting stronger with consistent form, you're going to be in with a chance of new tissue. And this does exactly what it says in the tin. We have just got stronger at it every single week. I think when I started, RDLs was at 140 for a working set, and we touched 200 a few weeks back for a working set, which is huge progress, and it's shown in my rear shots. So we've kept it in. We had a little period when we swapped it for Dorian's. Low back didn't like that, so we put the RDLs back in, and ultimately if something's not broke, you need to fix it. So we're now going to work with RDLs. Recently I found that my progressions were a little bit too much. I was getting a little bit too excited, going up in 10s, and we've sat on 200 for 6 reps for a few weeks now, and it was causing a bit of pain, and the reps just felt a little bit too forced. So we've pulled it back down to 190 last week, and we're just working on getting more reps with the 190. We'll probably sit on 190 again today, try and get another 1 or 2 reps, and then we'll push it back to 195 and then get that 200 again. And sometimes that's important to understand when you need to do that. And it doesn't matter how experienced you are in training, sometimes you need to pull back or take a sideways step to then be able to move forward again. And that's exactly what we've done. So we're gonna work through the feeders now. I say we, I'm gonna work through the feeders and see how it feels. Okay, so we've built up the feeders, and as much as it's feeling good today, I'm gonna stay true to my word. I'm not going for 200, I'm gonna go for 190 again. I'm gonna get another rep, and then another rep. And then once we're hitting 8-9 reps, then we'll go up to 195. And we'll approach it in a much better way. We'll approach it in a much better way this time. So that's it. So we know what needs to be done, and I'm gonna get after it. It's lungs more than anything. At this stage in the off season, when you're pretty fat, it's fucking hard. So your lungs just go. But That was 2 more reps. And that was the right decision to make because it felt smooth, it felt clean, and we're now in territory to move up to 195. And then we got up to 200 and we learned by our mistakes. So RDL back off went up, 174.9, which is good. So today's a good day. So 2 reps up on top set, 190 for 9, 2 reps up and back off. So we'll go up to 195 next week, on next rotation, try to get 6-7 reps, get that up to 9, and then go 200. And that's all she wrote. So next exercise is a single arm barbell row. This is a really cool movement. It's one that's only been in the plan like 4 weeks. I just maxed out on a single arm row. We're struggling to stabilize the progressions as we was getting kind of 70 plus. So that's a movement that will come out, take a back seat for a while, and we'll put it back in due course and get strong at it again. But this is a really good movement. It really tucks into the lower lat very, very nicely. So I'm gonna get it all set up, and we've got top set back off, 8 to 12, 12 to 15. And basically what I've done is set the bench up, bar up, and just gonna kneel on here, the leg over the bar, and drive into the low lat, which I'll show you in a sec. But the reason we put the leg over is because it creates stability, and stability is the most important thing. Because, as Charles Poliquin said, you can't fire a cannon out of a canoe. It's a very, very good expression. So if you're locked in, your ability to recruit tension on a muscle is going to be much better. And you have to try and consider that when setting up your movements. Where can you lock in and feel the most stable? In this scenario, I found that putting the foot over the bar enabled me to create a much more strong spine framework to drive through the lat with. So I'll show you. Built up to the top set. I'm just going to go for 40 kilos. Got 8 reps last week, so. Oh, cramp. Oh, that's really annoying. I cramped up after like rep 6, and you know you can feel it getting more and more strong. But I wanted the PB, so I got another rep, but I felt like I rushed it a little bit. And I feel like there's another rep there. Right in there. Right in the TFL sort of region. Probably need to, I don't know, stretch more. But yeah, that was good. That felt really good. It's a great movement. I can't stress enough how good this is for the lower lat, and that's an area that I do need development because it's lacking a little bit in my rear shots and the front shot for that matter. So we'll continue to get strong at this and then try and assimilate this in the gym when we get back in the gym. Dumbbell pullover. And a lot of people say, oh, isn't this a chest movement? And it can be. It can also be a lat movement. And that really depends on what you're thinking about using. It's more about the eccentric phase. So if you think about stretching out your lats and the eccentric, keeping the tension there and then contracting through, you can use your lats. If you think about placing tension through the chest, lengthening the chest out, and then driving through the chest, you're gonna use your chest. And I personally like this for both. You know, I've used it for my chest before and got good development. So, is it a good movement for lats or chest? Yes. Is it a good movement for a beginner to jump on? Probably not, because they're not going to be able to differentiate where and how even to place that tension. You know, so it's more of a movement once you've kind of built that ability over the years to be able to lock onto your lats or lock onto your chest. This is a good exercise. And, my last feeder on 40 for a couple of reps, and it just felt like nothing. So I'm gonna go for 45, which is a big jump. It's a bit of a fuck it moment, and I very rarely have these. I'm normally very calculated, but I'm gonna go for it. So if I can get 5 reps, I'll be ecstatic. It's 7, boy. Can I help? Give me a spot. Give me a spot. Oh, oh. Oh. Ah. Yes. Ah. Oh, fuck. Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh. Oh. Ah. Ah, that's what. Oh, yes. Oh. It's another movement that's really easy to get in and out of, you know, which is cool. But no, that's I'm not really sure what happened there. That's a rarity. But that was literally like a 5 kilo jump and 1 less rep, which is good. I'm not going to complain. But we'll take that. So we're going to back off on that. Then we're going to do a metabolic set, which is literally just cuffed like a TRX row. 2 sets, 15 reps. So I've got 3 sets of rear delt flies, 8 to 12 reps. Now, as in pronated, like on a bench incline. This is an exercise that I would never put into my plan usually. It's just I don't have access to any other way to really work them other than bands. And I did want to overload them, but I quickly remembered why I don't program them into my plan, and that's because my imbalance just doesn't enable me to really put too much load in that kind of range of movement, or that angle, should I say, in the glenohumeral joint, because I have such a weakness in that posterior capsule, and it's been an ongoing issue, and it's held me back with pressing and things like that. But long story short, it pops out sometimes. I felt it on when I was really trying to push this movement a few weeks back. I felt it pop out for like a microsecond. It just scares the shit out of me. So I don't really work hard. I don't go anywhere near failure on it. I just do more metabolic work. So we're just keeping the weight light, nice and slow, nice and controlled, trying to hold on to the rear delts. Obviously they get worked a lot in other movements, and then when we're back into the gym, they're going to need some work. Just as I was saying that, on the next set, I've just pulled it out. So for a microsecond, it just pops out, and it's the worst feeling in the world. So I'm not fucking doing it anymore. It's coming out. I'm just gonna do bands until the gym's open, because I can't risk it. Like it's hurting now, so that's gonna be inflamed for a couple of weeks. So these little bastards, horrible things. It's a blood flow restriction, and basically what we're doing is we're just restricting the blood flow back up towards the heart in an attempt to create metabolites, so metabolic stress. It's a different kind of stress to your usual breaking down tissue via progressive overload. So it's just a different way of stressing the muscle, if you like, and we're going to get a different adaptation from it. So we're going to do 3 sets, 15 to 20 reps. We don't need much weight, and this is probably my least favourite part of the week. I don't like it. In fact, I would rather rest pause a set of deadlifts than do these right now. So I don't enjoy them. So that is the session, guys. It was a good session. Everything went up. It's exactly what we wanted. It's exactly what the doctor ordered. When it comes to pulling movements, it's very important because we do need more back. We need more of everything, but we do need more back. So these sessions are very important. Just continuing to string along progression, continuing to take another rep on another movement each time you train is the most important thing in the gaining phase. You know, there's no reason to push body weight. There's no reason to push your boundaries and put yourself in that position where you're eating as much food as you are and obviously putting your digestion through that much taxing if you're not correlating that with performance, progressions. And the most important thing is not just getting heavier, but it's ensuring that your logbook is matching that, you know. So good session in the bag, really happy with the numbers. The rest of the day now is simply just spent recovering from that session. Got 3 meals to go, so we'll relax now. Probably take Oscar for a walk, have a shower, eat post-training meal, and then 2 more meals to go. And that'll be the day. So, hope you enjoyed the session, guys. Thanks for watching.